It's an absolutely lovely day today. It's Monday the 25th of February. Sheep are over there, chomping on the grass and probably trying to get daffodils. They do like daffodils. Now they've knocked the chair over yet again. I go and sit down there sometimes. Daft sheep. They do like to headbutt things. One of the chickens died today. She was laying down there in the corner of the run, and I thought she was just resting because they do like lay in the sun, but no, just passed away. That's the best way to go, just peaceful. So I'm up here on the roof, and I discovered that antenna there, which is missing the actual aerial part. It's got a GPS antenna label on the back of it, so might be useful. I've also worked out that it goes through a piece of trunk into the comms cupboard. But the reason for being up on the roof is I've just removed the orange beacon and blanked it off with a bit of the plastic from inside the van. Made use of the existing mounting screws. This will have the solar panel over it, so I'm not sure whether this white stuff is actually UV proof, but with the solar panel on top of it, that shouldn't make any difference. I've also tidied up all the cabling to the light bar. Oh, no, that's going to burn out. I can't get the light bar off. It's held on by a black Sikaflex type glue, and it's well, I probably can get it off, but I decided not to bother. Two reasons. I might actually use the light bar for something else, to mount something else in. But the other reason is, a picture was posted on Facebook a few days ago by one of the ambulance group members of one of these ambulances having had a bit of a mishap going under a low entrance to a block of flats or a car park. The ambulance had taken out the entire RSJ. It was amazing the amount of damage the ambulance had done to the brickwork and the building, and yet the ambulance integrity, probably other than the broken window, was fully intact. These things are strong, and that aluminium light bar on the front of here will add to that strength. So I'm leaving it. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. The other excuse could be it's just too difficult to get off. But it's a fantastic day. I've been actually sitting up on the roof most of the day today. Don't want to get on with any work, to be honest. I quite enjoy myself just sitting up here. It's very high. I mean, I'm actually sitting on top of the van now. I'm higher than Thistle, and Thistle's on jack stands. It's going to be interesting whether I can actually get this van underneath my carport. I think it'll just fit. I might have to take that brace off. But Thistle's sitting there. I've painted the back of Thistle's bent bumper panel, whatever the thing is, so I can put the bumper back on and make good the side of this in a few days' time. But isn't it a lovely day? It really is nice. Really, really warm, cosy. I think it's time for a cup of tea. I'm going to have to go and water some plants. They'll be getting dried out soon if we don't have any rain. I've got a whole bunch of hellebores down there. There we are. There's a whole bunch of hellebores down there in pots. They're all in flower. Got daffodils out. Snowdrops are going over. But hellebores are wonderful things. They're the type of plant you actually have to go and make an effort to look at. You've got to lift them up and look at the flowers. Same with snowdrops, really. You have to get down on your hands and knees and have a look. But these are all self-sown seedlings from my original plants that I brought here donkeys years ago. We did a bit of work in the garden to make room for a lot of the cluster I'm generating as part of doing these projects, so I lifted all these in the autumn. And oh no, that's not a real daffodil. That's a seed feeder. We got some daffodils out, bits and pieces. My pond's not doing very well though. It's still leaking. I don't know where the leak is. I'm going to have to investigate, but not right now because it's much more fun doing the van, and the ducks are beginning to appear. We haven't had any ducks on the pond, wild ducks, for a couple of years. I'm hoping that we'll see some nesting ducks. I've got lots of photos from years ago of the ducks having young, but when the moorhens arrived, they tend to drive the ducks away. The sheep still munching away, both of them are out there now. We're going to rehome the sheep. We've only got 2 left. We used to have 8. There's only 2 now, and they don't like being on their own. So if one of them dies, it's going to be a problem. So I'm actually hoping to rehome them in the not too distant future, so they can go as a pair. Oh, that's a bit wobbly. Sorry. Zoom back out again. Well, the chickens love it this time of year. They're just scratching about, sunbathing. They're getting warm for the first time in ages. They're very, very happy. Anyway, that's a quick update of sitting on the roof. I'm going to enjoy sitting on the roof here in foreign parts, even though it's very, very high. I think I'm going to need a particularly good ladder, especially if we're going to get Karen up here. Sam is just waiting to go out in the field. He's already been out once today, and he wants to go out again. Oh, what's he seen? There comes a vorwerk. That breed there is called a vorwerk. She's heading off in to get some food, feed her. But anyway, quick diversion from working in the van, and now I shall go back in the van and carry on. So, in between pondering life, the universe and everything else today on the roof, and generally just enjoying the sunshine, I had the comms cabinet apart. There is a cable management tray at the back there. That's the dark grey thing with the cutouts in. I've managed to lose all the cabling that was dangling out that went to whatever all that cabling went to. I found yet another VGA cable, or you know, it's a 15-pin computer VGA type connector at that end, and a multi-plug at that end. And the weird thing about this was, it came out here, up there, but the other end didn't go very far. The other end was in the box. I'll just shut the door. The other end was in this box, just coiled up loose. There. That box was there. I wanted to know why that box, or what was in that box, because it's going to be in the way of where I want to put the fridge. So I've taken the box down, and inside was that cover. That cable rather. So whatever these extra cables were for, I don't think they were ever used. They were put in for something, but I managed to lose most of them in the cable management tray in the back of this cupboard. So that's yet another bundle of cables I've been able to identify and deal with. I was right in my suggestion earlier on. This Cat5 cable did go up into the comms cabinet. I've now got yet another completely empty bit of trunking. I can't get the stuff out, but it may be useful if I ever need to run cables up in the top here at all, although I've got plenty of spares. I also found, as I said, on the roof there is an aerial marked GPS. That terminates inside this cabinet as well. It's a 5 volt, it's a powered aerial. There are actually 2 coaxes that go from it. I've called those up and tucked them away as well. They may have a purpose that I can put them to one day, I don't know, but I didn't want to sort of butcher it all and pull it all out. The conduit, I can use it as a draw cord if necessary. I managed to track down the cable over there, marked as reserve. That does come out. You can actually tug it and I can see it. Oh, it is actually in here as well. So maybe it was designed for another aerial mounting point, but it's roughly in the same place. Maybe they may have put aerials on 2 sides, but I'm pretty sure that that little toggly type thing, it's just designed as a hand. It's designed so you can use it as a pull through. So that's that cabinet sorted out. I'm getting close now to the point where I can comfortably reconnect the auxiliary battery. My replacement tubes arrived, and I've tested all the tubes. I did a quick sum. If I put all these tubes back in, all these fluorescent tubes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and 1, How many we've got on the other side? One there. One there. So that's 8 on this side, plus 1 inside that cupboard there. 9. 11 watts each. Best side of 100 watts and 12 amps. 12 volts, that's 8 and 9 amps those are going to draw. Not saying you will be running regularly on the battery alone. So I think if we do even use all of these lights, they are going to end up, some of them will be on when on battery, some of them can only be turned on when we're on mains. I'll see how they're wired up behind me in the paneling, and I may actually just isolate some of them. I've bought a awning kit for a Fiamma awning, and I intend to buy a 3.7 metre long awning for both fans. I'm going to have fun and games getting it up into that corner there. That's partly why I've left all these lights out, because I can't fit the awning kit until I've actually got the awning, because I think you have to mount them in a certain place. But I've been umming and ahhing about whether to buy the awning now. It's quite a big expenditure and I don't really want to spend it straight away. But I think what I'll probably end up doing is pop these lights back in just so I can do work in here. It's going to be easy enough to drop them out later on. I just won't be able to trim off these panels. I'm probably going to cover these white panels with something or other. But I won't trim them off until I've actually managed to get my head up there and mess about mounting awning brackets. But we're certainly at the point where I need to really get the awning just so that I know I've mounted the brackets in the right place before I do the ceiling in thistle. Well, I could probably leave a little bit of a gap. But looking at the instructions, it doesn't actually say where to put the brackets in reference to a particular length of awning. At least I don't think it does. We'll have to have another read. We're going to test the... I think I need to lower this a bit. Hang on. Let's just lower this down slightly, because I can't see what I'm looking at. Because it's too high. I'm going to test the intercom, make sure, see whether it works, whether it's worth keeping it. But I suspect we'll take it out and get a shot of that. I need to get hold of a second-hand radio or something from somewhere, probably on eBay, because I don't actually know which speakers do what, and I need to prove all that out. Anyway, today just been pottering around in here, realistically just double checking where everything goes, reducing the cable count down as much as possible. I pulled out the piece of, as I mentioned just now, I pulled out the piece of Cat 5 cable, and I've cut off the ducting. We don't need that. I've actually got 3 spares down there now. But I now need to pop back in and reassemble the dashboard. now I've extracted everything I need to extract for the time being. Beginning to get too many bits of plastic everywhere. Time to put them all back together. And then I'm going to start having a serious look at how I'm going to put a door in. I think getting this partition door in is probably the next major bit of dismantling I need to do before I do any other build work. Anyway, I'll pause now and may add a bit more to this later on in the week. A very brief update. Not sure if you can hear me over the sound of the heater, but I'm just giving that a damn good workout. I'm not sure it's run for a while, but we have power, we have a heater, we have lighting. It does make a difference when you've got bulbs, or rather CF lamps, that actually work. But I've just put all the lights back up temporarily, just to make sure everything's functional. I've identified every single cable I need to identify, and I've now tucked them all away neatly in various places just in case I need to reuse them. I've been exploring the opening a bit more in order to put a walk-through. Oh look, that's interesting. We'll just go and investigate what's going on there. I just went to investigate the steam coming up from underneath the vehicle, but it looks like there's some water in the exhaust from the heater, and it's just burning off underneath. Definitely steam. So we have a heater that works. We have spotlights in the lockers at work. I'm going to put the inverter in next. I've just verified the mains sockets work because I've disconnected a few things. But so far so good. Slowly proving everything that I need to prove.